Stay tuned for Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas, a leading financial retirement strategist and the founder of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, right here in Fresno. Every week, Dale discusses pressing financial topics of the week, ranging from reliable income strategies to our financial markets, including Social Security, tax strategies, wealth management, RMDs, legacy planning, long-term care solutions, and most importantly, how to make sure you have enough guaranteed lifetime income to retire your way with choice and dignity. From taxes to trends to total transparency, Dale covers it all. And now, here is Retire Your Way and Dale Soutas. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right here in California. Every week, helping you, our listeners, with retirement planning strategies, income strategies, estate planning strategies, healthcare strategies, all of that and more on today's program. And are Americans actually retiring later than they used to before? Maybe even some of our fundamental annuity questions answered. Again, always a popular segment. Mr. Dale Soutas, you know, the crowd hasn't seen you for a little bit. They're excited that you are here. How are you doing this week?
Yeah. I am doing fine. Enjoying our new office. Getting settled in, and we keep getting compliments, especially ones who have seen our old office and come over here. We've got a pretty office, so it's nice.
Excellent, and not too far away, right? You were just a little bit down the road.
Just a mile and a half, if that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, and if you would like to come into the new offices, folks, you are welcome to do that. If you would like your full appointment, 60, 90 minutes, call and schedule a time. But if you'd like to just stop by, see where the new offices are, especially if you're already currently a client, 833-856-1382. We know that you'll get a cup of coffee if you want. Come on in, stop in, have a conversation. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, is have some conversations about real folks that you've been helping out. But before we even get to those, you, like Seinfeld, you're going to be selling out the arenas. You've got live events coming up, don't you?
We sure do. We have our regular events over at Fresno State in the business section, business center. I forget what exactly they call it. But anyway, that's coming up usually the first week of the month. We're working on that to be a monthly program where people can come in and meet us and get topics that are on their minds, as well as ask their questions and things like that. So that's coming up. So the info on that's on our website, and it's basically about keeping your income going and reducing taxes, things like that.
If you would like to come to one of the live events, no cost to you. Bring your spouse, bring your partner, bring your friend. Just make sure that you register. And you can do that at the website, Soutas.com, 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 and click on the events tab there, and you can come see Dale in person. Questions. What do you think the stock market's going to do? Do I need to worry about estate planning? What about all of those healthcare selections? You've been well-versed in this for a long time. I was really excited when I started doing the program with you here. You were talking about how California was going to take away the limitations on how much you could have to be able to get long-term care. And then it was instilled for a little bit, but it went away again this year, didn't it? The rules are always changing on things like being able to get covered.
For you had a loved one in a nursing home, let's say, and there's no way possible for them to come home, and they need to stay there. Well, nursing homes on average throughout the whole state, the average cost if you're paying out of pocket's over $12,500 a month. And years ago, the nursing home Medi-Cal program, different than welfare Medi-Cal, different rules, different funding. The person who needs the benefits could have no more than $2,000 of what we call countable resources. The home, their most expensive vehicle, retirement accounts like IRAs, TSPs, 403Bs, all those.
403Bs, yeah.
Yeah, all of those IRAs.
Oh, my.
Those are exempt. Roth and IRAs those are exempt. Those don't affect that $2,000 limit. If they're married, the spouse could, back years ago, have about $100,000 on top of that. Today, you got a loved one in a nursing home, that person can have 130,000 of accountable resources in addition to all those exempt assets. The well spouse can have roughly 150,000 on top of that. So when we have ones who are still over that limit, we show them simple ways to protect those assets from spend down and get on the program so they can use that. And there's also programs that we can trigger off of that program to bring your loved ones home, sometimes getting over $4,000 a month for in-home care using special waivers. And normally people can't get that much money through those typical, Medi-Cal, IHSS programs that are out there. So there's a lot of neat programs, even VA programs that can help pay for care at home or in assisted living. So those are things we've been known for since roughly 1997. So that would be back before I was born, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Young pup.
Yeah. But anyway, so those are things we help with. And the rules have been kind of changed. They're back to where we still have to be under a certain asset limit for 2 years. So 24, 25, there was no asset limit. They only looked at your income, but now they've gone back to the asset limit. But the limits are higher than what they were many years ago when I first learned about the program.
You know where this gets even more complicated? Not that it's not complicated enough, but you can go from your working years, and oftentimes people think that a transition to something like long-term care or needing help or something like that is going to happen much, much later in life. It's going to happen in your 80s.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Sometimes you were speaking with an amazing couple who has, well, a story that you can tell better.
Yeah.
The business owner, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I met with the husband, and she came down with something, it's more of a serious type health issue the end of last year. But he's been fighting another type of a different health issue for years. He runs his own business, and, they're at a point where, how do you transition into retirement? How do you, move the business on? Unfortunately, he doesn't have any family members who are really stepping up to the plate to be able to handle that. So how do we make transitions? Just talking about different options, different things. And it may be that he needs to bring in somebody now who knows how to do or can be trained to do the business, the manufacturing that they do. And that way he can eventually turn that over to, somebody to continue it on. But but things happen,
But how oldish are they? Where are they starting? When is this happening to them?
Early 60s. Yeah, 63-ish, 64, Ooh. Right in there. Yeah.
So business owner, he's a business owner, and she's also having, I'm going to say severe, but extreme health issues that are going to need to be taken care of along with him. So there's not just the business, and this is a tough one.
Well, yeah, and he enjoys what he does. He could see doing it. He would love to keep doing it, but physically he does need help to do some of the, the heavy lifting, so to speak. So reality is, he may not, depending on how his health issue progresses, will he be able to keep going or not? So
was there like a viable family solution at all? Is there somebody who wants to help or continue it, or is that part of it? Is he trying to think, I built this business, I got to do the best I can to sell it so I can help protect me and my spouse?
Well, no, there's no one in the family who's really stepping up to the plate to help take things over, is why, we're talking and putting our heads together on options of, well, who can we find? There are ones out there who know the basics of that business that he can bring in. It's just instead of somebody in the family, which you would love to have had, but so it's time to start looking, how do we make these transitions? And, there's, sometimes people just need some coaching or somebody to bounce ideas off of. It's that simple.
And as I always like to ask, how much did you charge them to come in for this and just even start this conversation with them?
It doesn't cost a dime to come in and just review things. And like we tell people, just leave your checkbooks at home. You can bring your purse. You used to say, leave your purse home, but what if they need their
I know. I always think about that when I say that for the women out there. It's like, no, you're allowed. You can bring your compact, you can bring your tissues, you can bring your lipstick. It's just we don't need any
driver's license.
Everybody leave your wallets at home. That's all. That's all.
Leave your money at home. Just don't worry about it. It doesn't cost a dime to to bounce ideas off, us
Mm-hmm.
and pull from our resources. I mean, many times people bring up something that, it stumps me. Well, guess what? I have a lot of resources to pull from to find out, well, who can actually help in that particular scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind helping. I know what it's like being in business. I know what it's like, in many situations. And obviously, we've worked with a lot of different families over the years. And so it doesn't hurt to ask.
Some 4+ decades in helping people plan for retirement, be retired, stay retired, taking a look at the tools. And this is a very common tale. Not only of being a business owner, but then wondering, how do I turn it into retirement? But the hard part on this one are health concerns and actual needs that are going to probably shore up a much earlier retirement deadline for them. And what do we do with this business if there is no family continuation plan? A hard conversation, but something that Dale does all of the time in the offices. If you're wondering if you are prepared for your own retirement strategy, whether you're a private business owner or working for someone else and just wondering what your wind down plan is, call the phone number. You can set up a time to come on in. And if you say, leave your wallets, leave the credit cards and checkbooks at home. You can bring a purse if you want to, bring your driver's license, but there's no cost to come in and sit down with Dale and the team. 833-856-1382 is that phone number to call, 833-856-1382. Or you can also schedule a time at the website, Soutas.com, Soutas.com. More with Dale right after this.
Stock market losses have you worried? Claim your free portfolio risk report and protection review from financial advisor Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right now. Call 833-856-1382. If the recent market volatility has you worried about your retirement investments, you're not alone. Right now is the time to take action to protect your investments. Surely markets do not always rise, but if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you don't have the same time to make up for portfolio losses as you did in your 30s and 40s. Claim your portfolio risk review from Soutas Financial today. Call 833-856-1382 or go to Soutas.com. Your portfolio risk review will provide action steps of what you could do to protect your wealth from current market swings. Get your free portfolio risk review right now. Call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial at 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382 or Soutas.com. That's SOUTAS.com.
Call Dale Soutas and Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions right now to receive your complimentary tax map with your retirement readiness review. Learn multiple strategies that could protect you from higher taxes now and in the future. Taxes are a threat to your financial stability in retirement, so help protect yourself from the potential threat of rising taxes. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to receive your complimentary tax map and retirement readiness review. 833-856-1382. Their team will help you navigate the financial waters to pursue your retirement goals. They offer inclusive retirement services such as investment directives for your portfolio, income-producing strategies, and wealth preservation plans for your family and legacy. Call Dale Soutas and the team of Soutas Financial and Insurance Solutions, 833-856-1382 right now for your retirement readiness review, and also receive your complimentary tax map. Strategies to help you keep more of what you've saved in retirement. Or write us at the email address dale@soutas.com. This is Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial right here in Fresno, California. But you talk to people from all over, in fact. We're going to talk about Social Security and a couple from Kingsburg here in a moment. But I want to just really quickly go back to the business plan. A lot of people love what they do, Dale. A lot of people say, look, I built this business. I do it because I love it, or I do it because I'm great at it. And, my clients need me. My customers need me. Right. Sometimes folks are so focused on their business that they haven't actually thought all the way through of how they should set the business up.
Realistically, you have a business, and the ultimate goal is to sell it. It might sound strange, but eventually you need to get out of it. I mean, if you stop working, what are you going to do? Just walk away and leave all your customers hanging, or what? No, you need to have a way of transitioning, a succession plan, as they call it. But remind me of somebody about a year ago. Similar situation where they have a business, they run a business, and some of the other things I look at with them is like this gentleman had a business that was doing pretty good, grossing over $500,000. And he was taking as a sole prop. He wasn't incorporated. He didn't have an LLC, nothing like that. It was just his own little business. And he had one little employee that he had on the payroll and himself. And so...
What kind of income are you talking about?
Well, he, after business expenses and such, was showing about $150,000 to $170,000 a year. Not bad. But I said, so why are you not at least an LLC or S Corp where you can... be on the payroll, but you don't have to show the whole $150,000, $170,000 as fully taxable as self-employed. You can have, there's additional deductions and tax advantages per my CPA with setting up some type of entity like that, a business, structure. So then let's say you gross that same amount, but instead of taking $170,000 directly to pay Social Security tax on, which is not just the 16-ish%, but there's some other miscellaneous taxes that brings it real close to 19%. Okay, so now let's say he took $50,000 of it as wages, on the payroll, and the other $120,000 came through as a K-1. Well, he still pays tax on the $120,000, but he's not paying all that, close to 19%. He's not paying Social Security tax on that. So there's some effective ways for you business owners to structure things so that you can minimize taxes, improve your situation. The other, problem I see many times too when we own a business is what do? Well, to reduce our taxes, we put more and more money into our business. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who run businesses down the road, when it comes time to retire, they really don't have a whole lot to retire on. Whereas the ones who've been working for, XYZ company forever, and they've been putting a little bit aside every month or, out of their payroll into 401ks or other retirement accounts, a lot of them have some decent money, to retire on. So by putting a bunch of money back into our business, it might save you taxes today and might be effective that way, but it can hurt you in the long run when you go to retire. I mean, I literally wasn't too long ago, I had somebody, and he's got a really good business and it's profitable. But his liquidity, what he has for his future, actually was a chunk of it was from a former company 401k plan. So he doesn't really have all that much, saved up for himself because he put a ton of money into the business, the
That
equipment.
always worries me. That is such a common tale that I hear, that I read, that I see, and I know everybody out there wants to be Jeff Bezos. I know everybody wants to build the great big organizations, and you're putting your cash back in, and it looks successful, but there's a huge part of me that worries about folks who aren't also at the same time planning for their retirement. Because your spouse could be counting on that, your family could be counting on that, your health might change, like the folks you were just talking about in the opening of the program. And
Right.
So, but do you get the worry? Do you understand the worry that these people have, Dale, when saying, hey, I don't want to lock my money up into a retirement account. I need that for my cash flow. My company goes up and
Yeah, you need capital to do things. Exactly. But, in over 30 years of working with different families, with thousands of families, religiously, I've seen the ones who have sizable amount of savings for retirement are ones who've been employed, not ones who've been self-employed. And it's scary.
Wow.
Now, I do have a lot of those who run businesses and are doing very well, and they've got good structure. They've got good savings in a variety of ways. They've got more than enough working capital. But sometimes the little mom and pop shops, we just keep throwing our money back into the business.
And we understand,
Exactly.
and we get it. But not only that, the not saving, but then the other part of what you said also makes me nervous. And I can say that I know personally people in my family as well, and in the contract world that they lived in, that they would show as much in losses as they possibly could and not have as much reported income, all legally,
Exactly.
but they're going to hurt themselves on Social Security. they're going to
Right.
hurt themselves on Social Security down the road. Is there any way to make that back up?
Oh yeah, that you keep triggering people I've talked to. It was
Yeah.
a couple years ago. I had this gentleman. He has a good business. I mean, they gross over $1 million gross revenue for the little business, and
That's no little business. That's awesome.
yeah, not bad. And he's got employees. He got expenses. Maybe half of that. No, less than 400,000 of it is expenses. So he's got or probably it's only around 300 if I remember right. So anyway, what was interesting, he was already properly structured, and his tax person, because he was an S corp, had him take wages at like 40,000. Okay, so he got a good sizable K1. Okay, well that was good. But then I said, well, look, you're within 5 years of retiring, you're hurting your, Social Security income because, not that I want him to go up to what's now in 2026. You only pay into Social Security on 84,000, something like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm even 186, somewhere around there. It's in that ballpark.
But, he was saving the tax, but he was kind of hurting himself down the road for the benefit of Social Security.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a pension. He's the company. He has some savings, and that was good. But I said, why don't you go ahead and increase that? Yeah, you pay a little bit more to Uncle Sam, but you're going to increase the benefit when you retire instead of, whatever it was before. It would increase his, Social Security income. So there's a lot of different things to look at, and I don't think always, and it's okay to stump me with questions. It's okay to review things, and like we talked about in the previous, it doesn't cost a dime, to put our heads together. I might be sending you off to your own attorney or CPA or one of ours, or I might have to do other research just to find out who can help you improve your situation.
In 40 years and plus of doing this, do you feel like it's a little bit like putting together a puzzle? Do you enjoy that? Like, hey, come on in, try to stump me with this, because you find fascinating people who have fascinating niches, who have either worked very hard and saved something or built something on their own, and they come to you and they're like, hey, can you help me put together this puzzle? Because I want to make sure we're going to be okay. Do you enjoy that aspect of it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's majority of the fun of what I do. I enjoy helping people that come in, and they can see, sometimes they see my baffled face, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good question. But, I mean, not that that's every day, but I like helping people. One of the things I do regularly every morning, as I listen to the news, I pop open Sudoku and I do a Wordle. I do some of that just to get my brain working in the morning. But at work, it's like a puzzle. It's interesting. It's finding solutions.
And that's what we like to do here at Soutas Financial. You're listening to financial advisor Dale Soutas here, founder of Soutas Financial. He and his team. It's not just him. With all of the wonderful phone calls we get from the radio program and coming to the live events, Dale needs a team of people around supporting him to help you, our listeners, be and stay retired. If you want to know what putting together your retirement puzzle will look like for you, give us a call. It's no cost to come in. There's no obligation. Let's just have that conversation. We want everybody around the area to be able to retire comfortably. 833-856-1382 is the phone number. Call that. You can set up your time. We'll have folks standing by. You're not going to interrupt the program by calling. That's going to go to our call center, and we'll set up a time for you. No cost, no obligation, no credit card needed to do that. Or you can schedule your own time if you want to at the website when you get home. If you're driving around right now doing errands, go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com. And if you'd like to come see Dale live in person at one of the events, usually the first or maybe sometimes the second week of the month, we do them consistently at Fresno State. Go to the live events tab on the website, Soutas.com as well. More with Dale Soutas. Should you take your Social Security early? Right after this.
Are you worried that you waited too late to start your retirement planning? That you waited too late to start saving? At Soutas Financial, we believe it's never too late to start planning for your future. We can help you develop a personalized retirement plan that is tailored to your current needs and goals. The team at Soutas Financial will sit down with you and provide an evaluation of your current path, including your investment strategy, tax planning, and risk management approach. We'll help you identify potential areas for improvement and work with with you to create a retirement plan that is designed to help you work towards having financial security and peace of mind in retirement. It's not too late for you to get started with Soutas Financial. Call us today to schedule your complimentary retirement planning session. We believe we can help you get on the path to financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial to get started on your own complimentary written financial plan. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Which will you spend more money on in retirement, food or healthcare? Do you take your investments out of the stock market now that you are retired? Will your Social Security check be reduced in the future? How do you produce income from your nest egg to fight costs like taxes and inflation? At Soutas Financial, Dale Soutas and the team take the guessing out of retirement planning by devising a written plan that accounts for all of your concerns. The bigger question, are you going to be okay in retirement? Find out the answers to your retirement questions by calling Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial and retire your way. 833-856-1382. Income, investments, Social Security, Medicare, longevity, healthcare. We cover these solutions and all of those other questions on your mind to answer, are you going to be okay in retirement? Call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial and retire your way. 833-856-1382 for your own complimentary retirement plan meeting. 833-856-1382.
How do you know if you're retirement ready? That's a question many people ask themselves as they approach their golden years. We believe the answer can be complex and depends on many factors, such as your savings, monthly expenses, and lifestyle goals. At Soutas Financial, we can help you determine if you're retirement ready. We'll work with you to assess your financial situation, identify any potential income gaps, and develop a customized plan that aligns with your goals. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Call us today to learn how we can help you work towards achieving financial security and peace of mind in retirement. Call Dale Soutas and the team at Soutas Financial for your complimentary retirement readiness review. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. You know, I read something recently about Americans retiring later. The numbers, age-wise, are getting pushed out, 6 months, a year, year and a half, almost every single year. Some of the reasons good, some of the reasons not so good, either worries, fears, concerns about having enough money. Some of them are because of education and that we're living longer, so maybe we're choosing to work a little bit longer. But Dale, do you find that to be, if we're retiring later as a country, why does it still seem like a lot of people want to take their Social Security at the same time or maybe even earlier than they used to?
Good question. Like I had somebody recently, he's only 63. He's working. He's fine. He can see himself
And he wants to keep working?
He wants to keep working.
Okay.
And so, but his main question was, he looking at starting his Social Security now. And I go, well, why would you do that? And he didn't realize that if he makes more than, $24,000 a year, everything above that, if he makes $2 or $3, for every $2 or $3 above that, he loses one of his Social Security dollars back to Uncle Sam. So you're defeating the purpose. Plus, you're minimizing what your Social Security could be for the long haul. And, being married, I would rather you, if you don't need the income, and it doesn't really need it, then why not delay as long as you can? Because, typically our wives outlive us, so she'll lose her smaller Social Security, if that's the case, which happened to be the case here, and gain his. So by delaying his as long as he can, it can increase what she gets, after she knocks him off. I mean, after something happens to him,
Yeah, that is, it's still such a big one today. Let me be clear. I think a lot of folks understand Social Security, but if you're a first-time listener or you're still thinking about it or just about to do your research, when we say you can take it as early as 62 or 63, that's with reductions. I think as early as 62, it's almost 26 or 27% lower than what your full retirement age would be. And for a lot of folks today, that's now 66 or 67.
67 for the most part. If you're born 1960
if you haven't turned it on for the most part, it's folks out there who are going to be at 67. So if you take it as early as 5 years earlier, there are reductions every single year.
easier way to figure out the math on this, rather than listening to a radio show, driving around and trying not to hit the bumper in front of you, is go to ssa.gov when you get home. And if you haven't signed up for an account, you can. I've only experienced at a couple of your live events, I did have one woman and one gentleman, different times, different nights, say, oh, I had a hard time getting into that website. I'm not saying it's easy for everyone.
Oh, yeah, to set up your own login and password. It's a
people
joy.
did not like that.
Oh, it's so much fun. I wish I could do it.
Because I think there's some questions that you have to answer to self-identify who you are.
Exactly.
And I think what it does is it goes like through your credit history records, and they'll ask you things like, four different, did you live on one of these streets?
Right.
And is it you pick either the correct one or none of the above? And I had somebody say they had a hard time with their own questions and they couldn't get in. But let's say beyond that, and you get into ssa.gov. There you can start to figure out how much you would get depending on full retirement age, early, late.
Yeah, exactly. You could see, okay, so let's clear something up. Some people might be thinking, well, wait a minute, they just send us that report once a year, don't they? Well, no, for the most part, people are not getting that report we used to get. So you have to log in and set up your own, login password so you could see it. And you could pull it up, and the very first page shows you at the different ages, the different amounts that you likely will get at those different ages. So, and even if you're getting closer to full retirement age, let's say at 67, then delaying till 70, if it's possible, gives you another 8% a year, or 24% more per month Social Security. Well, yeah, but those years I get it early. Yeah, but people are living longer. You'll get more out of Social Security, and especially if you're married, your spouse will if you actually delay Social Security. And people are living into their 90s. I just had a lady this week. She'll be 91 later in the year. She doesn't even look at it. After she left, I told the ladies one of the ladies who didn't know her, I said, she's 90. She goes, no, you're kidding. So people are living longer, and let's maximize what you can get, not minimize.
You know what? And I mean this absolutely, because I've said this to people all the time. I'll be at the back of one of your events or be at somebody's seminar, and they'll come up and they'll kind of go into their story, and I'll go, hang on a second, if you don't mind telling me, because personal finance, it's more personal than it is about finance. And I'll ask somebody, how old are you? And they said, well, I'm 69 already. Turned on myself. I'm like, you don't look.
Oh, yeah.
People look better today than they did 20 or 30 years ago. Yeah. They just look so much healthier. And I'm like, wow, okay. Well, so then I got to wrap my brain around the fact that they're that actual age. But let's go back on
Well, it's like when you see me, you always are amazed that I'm not 21.
Yeah, well, I'm like, well, Dale, what was it like when electricity was invented?
And the color of dye I use, it makes it look gray. Kind of, makes me look more.
And Dale, you usually hit me back. Well, what was it like being at junior college for 6 years? And I understand. That's totally fine. That's why
you even made it to college.
Hey, yes, I did. Proud graduate of Arizona State University. For any listeners out there,
ASU.
Of course, I went there for the sunshine. That's what ASU was known for. It's the sunshine. I heard something that it was known as a party school. I don't know what anyone is talking about. I went there for the academics. But for our gentleman here, you say he was 63, still working, which is great. Wants to keep working. What was his trigger on wanting to turn it on? Now, is his the fears of it not being there? Is he just wanting to increase into his investments and go, hey, look, if I can turn it on, I'm not going to spend it right away. I'm going to put it into portfolio accounts. What was his drive?
Well, I mean, part of it was maybe pay off the house sooner, or things of that sort. But again, he's going to lose too much of it, and if his income's high enough, you'll get nothing. And you started early, and once you stop working, you're still getting a much lower amount than you would have had you waited and started at at a better time. So
I have a two-part question for you here. And I hope I might intuitively know the answer. But the first part of it is his wife the same age? Because I'm wondering if we could turn on hers instead of turning on his. But then I got a follow up, and I'm not trying to trick you. So was he married?
Yeah, but she's a year or two younger. It still wouldn't make sense.
Oh, okay.
Because they're both working. But let me take that example real quick. Let's say there is a married couple and they're both up there in the, close to retirement age, full retirement age, which is for most 67. Sometimes if the wife's not working and we want to show the husband to delay his, sometimes it might be good to start the wife's early, especially if she doesn't have as many credits and her Social Security is not going to be as great, because the amount he would get at 67, that's the full retirement age amount. When she's at full retirement age, she files as well, and he's already filed. She's entitled to up to half of what he gets, if half of that is higher than what she would get. So I might have her, when she's 67, start her Social Security. He delays his till 70. Okay. When he files for his, even though hers is small, she would still get a bump up based on his full retirement age because he's now started. So there's some neat strategies. She can file off of his record down the road after he files and delays till 70. So now he's getting a bigger amount, and that's the amount she'll get way down the road if he dies, right? So a lot of neat strategies on when to time it.
This could be more for a tax person, but so I would assume then they would be married filing jointly. If they're married filing jointly, let's say we turn on hers and it's earlier, so her spousal, but she'll take reductions as well. Now, if they're married filing jointly and he earns over that $24,000 a year, is her Social Security then reduced for $1 for every two that he made because they're married filing jointly?
No, if she's earning more, but if she's not working, no. But the downside of her starting early would be then when she later files off of his record, she's also getting a reduced amount. She's not getting the full, half of his or whatever. So it's rare that I'm encouraging ones to file early. And there's occasions where it does make sense, but it's rare. It's usually let's show you how to delay, and especially for those who've, saved decent amounts for retirement.
And for our listeners out there, and this is why this is such an important question for today, is that a lot of folks are asking, should I take my Social Security early, or can I, or just saying I am going to because I'm worried it's not going to be there or it could be reduced. If you're still working, please be aware of the thresholds of how much you will be able to keep and won't be able to keep, the reductions that you'll take by starting it before your full retirement age. Maybe there's a spousal option that we can do if you want to turn on a little bit of that income flow. But please make sure you speak with somebody before you turn on your Social Security. Make sure that they have your best interests in mind, that they understand how the Social Security works, and more so, all about your situation. You are welcome to call the Social Security office and go down there and talk to them, but they likely will not be able to help you with all of your planning strategies in your income plan. If you would like to discuss your Social Security strategies, even if you have turned it on, feel free to call the phone number. You can set up a time to sit down with Dale and his team and review what you're already doing. 833-856-1382. 833-856-1382 is the phone number to call. Folks are standing by. They'll schedule a time for you, or you can schedule that time yourself at the website. Soutas.com, Soutas.com. More with Dale and a couple of folks from Merced when we get back right after this.
As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale Soutas and the entire team of retirement professionals at Soutas Financial invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement planning session. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans from your savings that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your own retirement planning session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. 833-856-1382. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees, and risks, or how to produce ongoing income that lasts your entire retirement? Then call Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial to schedule your own comprehensive retirement planning session. No cost to our valued radio listeners. 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Dale Soutas of Soutas Financial. Really like this. You had an interesting Well, this was a phone call because Merced's not exactly right down the block, but a couple of
Right.
family members, I guess, reached out to you. Had a long phone call with them?
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, they had a telephone appointment. And what's interesting, they're in their later 60s, so they're working on things to help out people who have low income for housing. And
That's nice.
it was really a neat thing. So we talked for quite a while, at least 30 minutes or more. And, some of it, I had to refer on basically to my own CPA, and they've got an attorney helping them set up things to be nonprofit, to be able to really help those ones out locally and, elsewhere in California. So, but it was really neat to bounce ideas, and some of the questions were more on, how that structure will help. Basically, if they want to provide donations themselves or others to the foundation or the nonprofit, I should say, how does all that work? So, and I told him, well, that's a good question. I don't deal with this every day, so my CPA would know, and he can work with you and your current attorney to get some of those technical questions answered and make sure the paperwork's all goes through smoothly, right? So,
Well, and what's great is, a few different things. Number one, that they heard us all the way out in Merced. Fantastic. You too, as one of our radio listeners, wherever you're at, if you're hearing Dale here on the radio, you're welcome to call in, talk about your situation. It's not going to air here on the program, but we'll set up a time. We can set up a phone call. You don't have to drive all the way into Fresno. You can talk 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. We can do it by telephone. We can do it over a Zoom if you want to, so we can see face to face. Or if you are hearing us and you're closer by, you want to come into the offices, spend the time, you want to share your personal situation as kind of like a financial therapy session, you're welcome to do that as well, however you're comfortable. But what we really like is the reaching out, saying, hey, I heard you, not exactly sure what to do with it. We're going to be a nonprofit. We want to help folks. Oh my God, it's just so great helping them with housing. And I love people asking, what do we do beforehand? Because sometimes it's hard to unwind things. I love the people saying, I'm thinking about turning on Social Security at 63. I'm thinking about setting up this nonprofit. How do we do this to help people with low-income housing? Great to ask the questions, because it's hard to untangle sometimes afterwards.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost a dime. I'm not looking to make money off of them. There's nothing they need, to put into financial tools right now. There might be down the road. That's fine, but it doesn't matter. I know if I'm doing the right thing, helping them, they're going to tell other people how mean and ornery I am, and I'll have other people to work with. And if they have needs that we can help financially, great. And if not, that's okay. It keeps snowballing is bottom line what happens. That's why we expanded. We've moved to a different office, more room. We're going to be having additional advisors trained to do things, the way we do things. And so it's really nice to be able to, expand and reach out to help more and more people.
Yeah, which is also why you continue to do live events. I'll go back to something we started talking about 2 years ago, and it's called Peak 65, and that more Americans are turning 65 every single day. And it started a few years ago, and this is going to go all the way through 2028 here as the baby boomer generation turns 65. But what's interesting is that as more people are turning 65, more folks are actually retiring a little bit later than they used to, the 66, the 67, maybe in part because that's when full retirement age kicks in on that Social Security. So rather than 65, they're doing it a couple of years later. But does this come up at all at your live events? People asking, hey, is 65 too soon? 66, 67? Am I going to have enough? What kind of stuff happens at your live events?
Well, we talk about a lot of the timing of whether it be Social Security, how to minimize taxes, things like that too. So, but and I don't want to make people think, that most people are waiting till well after 65 or whatever, because I do get quite a few who are trying to retire, now. They want out, okay? And they might be in their late 50s. They might be early 60s, and I've had ones recently, they're in their 40s and they just want to make sure they're on track. So, it just, when people are thinking about their future, bottom line, I don't want them worried. I don't want them feeling stuck. Will everything work out? Will my money last? Will I have enough income to keep my lifestyle going? I mean, we work now. The income we get, hopefully, we're able to maintain the lifestyle we want. So when you retire, I don't want you having to change your lifestyle and stop doing the things you want to do. I want you to be able to do more. So that's the whole goal. And so, the idea of people feeling stuck is more and more I get people coming in and say, I just want to see, if I'm on the right track. And that's A-okay to do. And there's many that I see that there's really nothing, I'm not going to make any money off of them. And I don't care because there's nothing doing things perfectly already. They've got things set up. They might need a little coaching on, like many people who own real estate. How many of you who own a home or own multiple properties do not have a trust? I mean, that's scary. If something happens to you, that property is going to the state's probate system for probably a couple years. It's expensive. It's time consuming. Anybody can walk in and say they owed me money, and it takes longer and it costs more. So, it could be something simple like that we coach them to. You need to get a trust set up, Do you have powers of attorney for financial matters? Do you have healthcare directives for medical needs? What are you doing to minimize taxes now and in your future? Is it wise to, convert some of your tax-deferred money to Roth?
All that in one seminar?
Oh, you said seminar. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about all the things we talk about, but the seminar we go through all of that, and it only takes 10 minutes.
Stop.
No, usually
but those are the things
minutes.
that kind of come up from afterwards.
Exactly.
That's great. But it is really interesting, and I kind of call myself a financial sociologist, if you will. But because of longer career spans, the share of people age 65 to 69 that are still in the workforce nearly doubled over the past 3 decades. It used to be about 18% in 1990. And today, 65 to 69-year-olds working in the workforce, 32%. But you know what? I'll go back to what I said and what you've said before. People come to events and say, yeah, I'm 68, still working. And they don't look a day over 52. It's different today. It just seems like we're a lot healthier than we used to be. So is there a difference, though, when people can walk out of your office and say, you're working now because you want to instead of you have to? And they can see that income plan?
Yeah, that. And then I have the opposite where people are like, they think they can't retire, but they really want to retire. They got a lot of things they want to do, or they just don't really care for their job anymore. Things have changed. The political environment, the work environment's changed or whatever. So, and it's so nice to be able to show people, yes, you can retire now. It's also nice to say, hey, yeah, you'll be okay if you delay and wait. And, it just, there's a whole range of things that we love covering with people to make sure all the bases are covered, not just, I saved $1 million. Whoop-de-doo. What kind of lifestyle do you want? You might have been able to retire with $200,000. So, but the point being is just don't be shy. It doesn't cost anything. We don't bite anymore.
From the amazing stories that you've told today from a small business owner, which is actually a pretty decently sized business, but he and his wife now with health concerns, early 60s. What do you do? Well, I'm so glad that they reached out to the radio program. Another gentleman and his wife, a little bit younger, thinking about turning on Social Security as early as 63 while still working. So glad they reached out to the radio program, and we're still finding and looking for the right solutions for them. And a couple of family members out there from Merced, trying to figure out how they can help their community better and how do they set up their nonprofit to help folks in their area. Folks, this is what the team loves to do every single day in the offices. How can we help you put together your financial puzzle so you can be and stay retired, enjoy what you're doing, maybe call it your golden years, but maybe we lighten up the workload a little bit so you can enjoy your fun years as well. That's exactly what we do and what we'd like to help you with as well. You can call the phone number, set up your own time to talk with Dale and his team here at Soutas Financial. It is no cost to you. It is no obligation. You can do it from home. You can do it over Zoom, or you can come into our offices right here in Fresno. 833-856-1382 is that phone number, 833-856-1382. That's going to be all the time that we have for today's program, but we'll still have folks standing by various times to schedule that time for you. Or if you want to, you can go to the website and schedule your own time. Got a couple of videos on Dale on there, a couple of other great trailers on how to be and stay retired successfully. We can send you links on how to watch the complete movies. If you go to Soutas.com, Soutas.com, that's Soutas.com. For Dale Soutas, I'm Spike. We'll both be back again next week.
Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and or guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products overseen by state insurance regulators and not any investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration or any U.S. government agency. Comments regarding a particular client's experiences and outcomes may or may not be the same as another client's experience and could differ substantially, and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Tax loss harvesting is a strategy that may help minimize the amount of current taxes you have to pay on your investments by choosing to sell an investment at a loss. It is only appropriate for certain taxpayers in certain scenarios. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and legacy planning strategies with your legal tax advisor before attempting a tax loss harvesting strategy.
As a valued radio listener of Retire Your Way, Dale and his entire team of retirement professionals invite you to schedule your very own complimentary retirement plan review session. 833-856-1382 is the number for you to call. If you don't have a retirement strategy mapped out that includes low-fee investment elections, tax minimization strategies, decumulation plans that will last as long as you need them to, then call for your very own retirement review session, complimentary for our valued radio listeners. Are you able to lower your taxes in retirement? Are you unclear about your Social Security, Medicare, investment fees and risk, or how to produce guaranteed lifetime income so your lifestyle and goals don't have to be changed with the ups and downs of the market or taxes? Call Dale Soutas with Soutas Financial and be confident you can retire your way. Schedule your own comprehensive and complimentary retirement review session. Don't just live in retirement, thrive. Call 833-856-1382. That's 833-856-1382.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal is converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor's situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Comments regarding a particular client's experience may or may not be the same as another client's experience and is not an indication that any client or prospective client will experience the same or a higher level of future success or performance. Foundations only transacts business in those jurisdictions where it's properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio, or securities or investment strategy is suitable for any specific person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and estate legacy planning strategies with a legal tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategies discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not in any way refer to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, nor any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area, and contacting us at the phone numbers provided herein will direct you to a licensed insurance agent. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all your options. All rights reserved.